So today we're going to learn about simple interest. So interest is something extra that someone has to pay for borrowing money or using a credit card. It's the way banks earn money, but it's also something that you can earn money for. If you put money in a bank account and you leave it there, the bank will give you a percentage for leaving it there. If you invest in stocks, you can earn interest from doing that. So interest is a fee that someone pays in order to borrow money or the amount of money earned by saving money in a bank account. The way we can determine interest is by using our interest formula, which is called I equals P times R times T. So the I stands for interest, P stands for principal. So principal is the initial amount of money being borrowed or saved. Initial meaning the starting amount. R stands for rate, and that would be the percentage rate, the percent charged or earned on the amount of money. And just as always, your percent must always be changed to a decimal when you are substituting into your formula. And then T stands for the amount of time in years that your money is borrowed or saved. Key is it has to be in terms of years. So if you're given an amount of months, you would have to change it to years by dividing by 100. So let's now learn how to apply your interest formula, looking at question number 1. So Greg borrowed $75,000 to pay for his college tuition. He plans to take out a 4-year loan. The interest rate is 6%. How much interest will Greg owe at the end of 4 years? So just like with the percent equation, we determined our part, our whole, our percent. When we're determining interest, we want to determine what's your interest, what's your rate, what's your part, your principal, and what is your time. So we're going to write out I, P, R, and T. So going back and reading, he borrowed $75,000. The amount that he's borrowing is your principal. So P in your interest formula stands for principal, not part. He's going to take it out for 4 years, so that's your amount of time. And your rate is 6%, so as a decimal would be 0.06 because you have to divide it by 100. So what we don't know is our interest, which makes sense because it says here how much interest. So now I want to write out my formula. So I equals P, R, T. My I don't know, so I put an X there, bring down my equal sign. My principal is $75,000. My rate is 0.06, and my time is 4. So now to get my amount of interest, I have to multiply all 3 of those numbers together. So 75,000 times 0.06 times 4 gives us that the amount of interest that he will owe at the end of 4 years is $18,000. And that's just the interest. So that's how much extra he'll have to pay on top of the $75,000. All right, so moving along to question number 2. Erica's parents gave her $500 for her high school graduation. She put the money into a savings account that earned 7.5%. She left the money in the account for 9 months before she withdrew it. How much interest will she have earned after 9 months? So I want to write out I, P, R, T to determine what we know. So Erica's parents gave her $500. So that is your principal. That's the initial amount of money that she's starting with. Your percentage rate is 7.5%. So that would be 0.075. and the time is 9 months. But remember, that has to be in terms of years. So to change that into years, you're going to divide it by 12. So you can leave it as 9/12, or if you divide that, that would give you 0.75. So I'll put that next to it also. So now we're going to apply this to our interest formula. I equals PRT. So our interest is unknown, so that's our X, equals, our principal is 500, the rate is 0.075, and your time is 0.75 years because it's less than a year, it's 9 months. So now we're going to multiply that together to get the total amount of interest. So 500 times 0.075 times 0.75. And that would give us 28.125. But because this is money, we have to round to the nearest cent. The nearest cent means to the nearest hundredth place. So the 5 and the thousandths place tells us we have to round that 2 up to a 3 to get $28.13. So that's the amount of interest she would gain after 9 months. All right, and moving along to question number 3. So Mr. Rodriguez invests $2,000 in a savings plan. The savings account pays an annual interest rate of 5 3/4% on the amount he put at the end of each year. How much money will be in his savings plan at the end of 10 years? So we want to start with determining our known and unknown. So I, P, R, T. So $2,000 is the amount he's putting in his savings plan. So that would be our principal. The interest rate is 5 3/4%. So you have to take 5 3/4%, change it into a decimal. So 3/4 is 0.75%, and then divide it by 100 to get what just the decimal would be. And that would be 0.0575. And then the amount of time would be 10 years. So now we're going to substitute into our interest formula to find the amount of interest first. So I equals P times R times T. Our interest we don't know. Our principal is 2,000. Our percentage rate as a decimal is 0.0575. And the amount of time is 10 years. So now we want to multiply all 3 of those numbers together. So 2,000 times 0.0575 times 10 is 1,150. So this is your amount of interest. We want to determine how much money will be in his savings plan. So what's in his savings plan is the $2,000 that he started with, plus the amount of interest he earned. So you have to add his starting amount with the interest to get $3,150. That would be the total amount in his account. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to do the try yourself problems. When you are done, you can either take a picture of your work and submit that to me, or you can type your work into the document that is on the Google Classroom. Something that's helpful if you want to take a picture is to download the Google Classroom app into your phone, and it makes it really easy to attach a picture. If you have any questions, just email me or send me a comment anytime, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay? Have a great day.